The Sonic Adventure series Chao Garden side game is one of the simplest yet incredibly addictive minigames that I've ever had the pleasure of enjoying. A side game that is so damn enjoyable that it has the potential to be its own game apart from the Sonic Adventure series. It is that good. The Chao Garden is a side game in the Sonic Adventure series that focuses on raising these small childlike entities called Chao. They are cute, playful, and overall hashtag good vibes. You can collect small animals that you get from the main game to give to them to make them grow stronger and evolve into newer forms. From there you can take the Chao races, Chao karate to compete against other Chao for prizes and medals. It's a fun little distraction from the main game to break up the action for more casual players. This concept might not sound particularly groundbreaking for 1999 when Chao were first introduced, as the cultural phenomenon known as Tamagotchi had already dominated in the genre known as the virtual pet genre. I would think it's a stretch to suggest that maybe Pokemon and Digimon somewhat contributed to this rise to success of the virtual pet genre, especially the Digivice toy. If anyone in my audience is old enough to remember that, definitely contributed to it. Aside from that, Chao Garden garnered a very passionate cult following who have probably sunk more hours into the side game alone than they have in playing the story mode in the Sonic Adventure series, myself included. You guys would know that if you watch me stream at twitch.tv/astralblacklord, streaming on Thursdays and Sundays. Anywho, let's just get into the video because I just want to talk about this. What makes the Chao Garden so addictive and accessible is its strength in simplicity. It does not ask much from the player except to raise your Chao with nuts and animals. Even expert players who know the side game in and out follow the same rules. There are no legendary weapons to farm, no complicated character builds, no quests to complete, no once in a lifetime event items. You feed and raise your Chao, spend some time in the Chao Garden, playing with them, do some races, do some karate, and that's it. Now, this might sound shallow to you, but take a look at Minecraft. That game is super simple. You just build and craft things. Sure, that game has more depth than the Chao Garden 10 times over, but it's the personal goals you set for yourself that make the gameplay more compelling. There's nothing pushing you forward or forcing you to do something aside from your own imagination and curiosity. You could just sit there idle and watch your Chao walk around, go for a swim, eat, sleep, etc, etc. Even the Chao races are simple. All you do is watch them compete and occasionally push the stamina button every so often, but if you want to do that, you don't have to do that. It's not necessary to play the game. Of course, once you scratch below the surface a bit, there is a little bit of strategy to how you raise your Chao, from the kind of animals you give it to the kind of fruits and nuts you feed it, but it's very, very quick and easy to pick up. Give it a penguin to raise its swimming stat, give it a parrot to raise its flying stat, which will lead me into my next section. How the hell do you raise these Chao? A Chao stat is broken into 5 parts: swimming, flying, running, power, and stamina, depending on how strong these stats are or how well you perform in races and karate. Certain races may rely heavily on specific stats to carry them through, such as the Aquamarine course relies heavily on strong swimming stat, and the Peridot course relies on a strong running stat, or the Diamonds course relies on just a good balance of all stats. During the main game, when you defeat enemies, they will drop a shiny glass shard called Chaos Drives, which can be given to your Chao to make them stronger, alongside collecting animals and secret spots that you find throughout the level. Certain Chaos Drives and animals raise a specific stat. To identify this without having to experiment for hours on end, there are subtle ways to identify via the coloured windows seen in the pictures when collected. So yellow means swimming, purple means flying, green means running, and red means power. Raising specific stats with certain characters during a Chao's infancy will influence what it'll evolve into during its life cycle, taking on numerous forms. Depending on which form it evolves into will raise its proficiency in that specific stat, meaning that no two Chao will be the same in terms of ability. I could speak on this part of Chao raising for much longer because there is a lot to get into. There's a lot of explaining to do in that, but I just wanted to give you guys and girls some idea of how addictive and how open-ended it is when you start raising your Chao. Oh snap! I forgot to tell you guys about the stamina stat. Raising stamina requires feeding your Chao various fruits and nuts that you can purchase from the black market shop with rings that you earn during the main game. However, what is funny about this is that the black market was not always a feature in the Chao Garden side game when it comes to getting like exclusive items. Originally, during the Dreamcast era when the Sonic Adventure series had originally released, you had the interesting feature to take your Chao out on an adventure on the Dreamcast memory card, also known as the Visual Memory Unit, or VMU for short. Yes, it's a mini game to the side game to the main game. Yes, I know the GameCube era had the tiny Chao Garden, but let's be honest, it's just not as good as Chao Adventure. The VMU minigame, appropriately titled Chao Adventure, was a feature that allowed players to take the Chao that they raised in the Chao Garden onto their VMUs to have an adventure. You collect fruit and nuts. Only exclusive to the minigame, you fight bully Chao that are in the wild for fruits and nuts, and you can train them via this minigame. This was not something that you had to dedicate a lot of time to. You kind of just left it idle until a notification popped up, much like a smartphone game like Clash of Clans or Adventure Capitalist. So when you're not playing Sonic Adventure, you can just take your VMU out on the go and play some Chao Adventure whenever or whenever. Then once you're done with Chao Adventure, you can just bring up your Chao back to the Chao Garden with all the exclusive items you gathered along the way. Like, even Chao Adventure was like a fun distraction from the fun distraction, which was Chao Garden. I don't know, I know it makes no sense, but it's just how I felt when I was playing it. So why I preface this section by saying what is funny about this is because this whole concept probably sounds stupid familiar to you already. Not sure? Need a hint? Phone a friend? It's Pokemon Go. It's basically Pokemon Go. The concept of taking two games, one being portable and the other being a console game, and having them integrate with each other for a dynamic experience. As far as I know, I think this was pioneered by the Sega Dreamcast and the VMU. Please don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, I might not have the most extensive gaming history, someone can probably come along and tell me I'm wrong, but this is just my sort of experience. The Sonic Adventure series is not the only games that utilize this feature on the Dreamcast. There are at least a dozen games in the Dreamcast library to do this, from Power Stone to Trick Style. I do talk about Dreamcast a lot. Maybe this channel might just become a Dreamcast nostalgia channel one day, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Sega and the boys down at Sonic Team were sitting on a gold mine back in the day, and they didn't even know it. Like, I'm honestly shocked that Sega did not scramble back then to make like a Chao Garden for smartphones when Pokemon Go had set the world on fire. It would have been just the perfect timing. Which brings me to the point of my video. Sega, Sonic Team, please bring back the Chao Garden. It doesn't need to be a part of a Sonic game at this rate, because I know you must be sick and tired of people begging for Sonic Adventure Remake or Sonic Adventure 3. You could just make this like a small sort of like arcade game that would have done like really well back when the Xbox Arcade like 360 days. Or you can just make it like a smartphone game that I can play for a few minutes throughout the day. Judging from a lot of mods and fan-made games that people have sent me during my streams, there is definitely a demand for this and a huge potential to expand upon what we've originally played to appeal to a wider audience and perhaps even be the next big thing. I know that's a very bold statement to make, but I honestly feel this can probably be really good if a lot of time and effort was spent into this. It definitely has a social appeal to bring people together, to show and tell others about their Chao Garden experiences. Maybe they could incorporate ways to spruce up your Chao Garden with decorations, trees, toys, maybe let players set up play dates with each other so Chaos can visit neighboring gardens. That would be pretty cool. Casual gamers would love fooling around making cute and funny Chao. Maybe like the black market could sell outfits and accessories to greatly customize appearances. And even the hardcore would get a kick out of raising strong Chao to compete in races or against their friends' Chao in like a potential online mode, perhaps create like a Chao Olympics with teams and see who gets the most gold medals. These are just like ideas I'm just kind of like naming from the top of my head. Like, I'm honestly starting to get like an Animal Crossing vibe from this idea, and judging from how incredibly well that game has done recently, this just screams success. I hope it screams success. So Sega, Sonic Team, if you are watching this, you know what you need to do. Please get to making this game. They probably won't see this video, like I don't have that kind of reach on this platform, but I don't mind. I just want to talk about the Chao Garden in this video because I have been playing it a lot on my stream recently, and it's just kind of awakened this dormant hunger for more Chao Garden stuff. And so I figured my viewers could share my pain in just trying to wish for games that will just never ever come out. But anywho, I know this video was short, but the video is done. I'm gonna go watch some One Piece because I have no excuse to not watching it at this point because of the lockdown. And yeah, I hope you guys are safe, healthy, and you have a good one. Peace.